Cheese. All right, and welcome back to That's Some Cheese, part of the Vendetta Sports Podcast Network. Today is Monday, July 26th, 2021, and today we have our guy Karl Heiser back on the show. We had to have him on the show because the last episode of Survivor, I couldn't title it this because it would have been a dead giveaway of what happened. But that was the Karl Heiser episode for Survivor. So he's on cheese this week. So Karl, how are you? What's going on?
I'm good. It's been a while since I've been here. Haven't talked to producer Alex in a while, so
Yeah.
that's fun.
He said the camera looks good on you too.
Yeah,
it
was
does.
that was
Look
really,
at
I
him,
wasn't
man. It's a natural.
I sported my Red Sox gear today just for Karl, but I'm like popping out of my shirt. My shirts are fitting funny now.
Yeah, you should have seen it right before we started recording. I said, "All right, bicep Red Sox fan, are you ready to
Look
go?"
at this, man.
And then Carl's like, "Oh, you referring to me?"
So let's just get right into it. This is the Karl Heiser episode of Survivor, and it's the Karl Heiser episode of Survivor because he did 20 posts. It was on Wednesday, right?
Mm-hmm.
20 posts in a day. Do you want to just give your like initial takeaways to that? Like, is it easy posting? Like, do you just want to show the rest of the group that, hey, you guys are schmucks, I can do this whenever I want?
Well, it was, part of it was just like proving that I could do it. And then because like once the rule was put in place that, you know, we'd get special Survivor powers if we did it. And I love Survivor. So that was part of it. And then it kind of started when on his, I don't remember which episode it was of Empire's Finest, Adam said like, oh yeah, these high school guys are making like, you know, some of the guys who've been here a while look really bad. And I was like, no, they're not. Like, so that was kind of what it was too, was like, they're not catching up to me. Like, there's no way.
I like that.
Carl said, "Not me, baby.
I like that.
I'm my own man. Get off my back."
Adam lit a fire under me. That
I like
he doesn't even
that.
know that. This will be the first time he hears that, but
I was like that.
I wasn't letting that slide.
Especially you were the big influence this week because I have a new rule for Tanner Pike because he's so behind on hours that I figured, hey, he's got to do 20 posts in a week because Karl did that in a day.
How many has he done so far?
He's done one, but it looks like he's got 3 in drafts.
All right.
So he's making progress.
All right. It's almost worse if he makes that happen, though, because that means he could have just been doing it the whole time.
Yeah. But hey, credit to Tanner Pike. That kid cares.
Yeah.
He wants to be here.
I'm rooting for him.
Let's get into the Survivor stuff because this was the Karl Heiser episode. He added Nicole's name to the list and then sent Nicole home packing.
But yeah, yeah. I mean, it. You know, if you haven't seen the episode, you should go watch it. But it wasn't really a personal thing necessarily. It's hard to say that with just the nature of what it is. But there's not a lot of people that really rub me the wrong way here, and she was like one of them. So that's kind of how that went. Yeah, I don't know.
Emma Brown was very, very excited to send.
Yeah, that was. I was glad that, and you know, Adam texted me after and was like, "W." So, and even, you know, people who weren't here anymore apparently thought it was the right pick. So,
Survivor's a popular thing. I get texts from people that aren't even in the company about it.
Really?
Yeah, it's popping off.
That's
might be my best idea ever. How do you feel about it?
I mean,
because I keep trying to be like open-minded about it. I'm like, if one person would just be like, you know what, I don't like this idea. Here's A, B, and C why I don't like this idea. But no, you guys are like actively rooting for it to happen all the time.
I'm actively rooting for it until we get a situation where like it's kind of a gray area of like someone who might actually be kind of valuable. Because so far,
So far, I don't think that's ever going to be the case.
Really? Yeah.
I mean, 3 years from now, when like some people have contracts, I still don't think it'll be the case because there will be people that like have to prove themselves.
Right. Well, I think once the contracts come out, it'll probably be more infrequent just because people will be like incentivized to like now it's like on the weekends the posting is just dead, and I don't think it'll be like that in the future at all. So
producer Alex, I always like to hear your thoughts on the latest episode of Survivor.
Yeah, I thought it was pretty cool. You know, I just think on the Nicole front, I think that was a good pick. I talked a little bit about this with Alex Chick last week, and you know, it was just kind of just didn't sit right with me, and I'm sure and a lot of other people, that she ghosted for a little while and then she came back, and then to Alex Chick's point, you know, she came back and was just like hot in the general chat, like, we're gonna do this, 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 and this. And he was like, whoa, slow your roll. You haven't even, where the hell have you been? And you're coming back all hot like you run this shit. Like, it doesn't work like that. So I think it was a good pick. And obviously Emma Brown's really happy about it. And, you know, to have somebody that came in, and here's the thing, we said this weeks ago about Nicole, that she came in so hot saying, I'm going to help you with this, 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 and this. I used to work for this, you know, professional sports team, and I did this, 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 and this. So I'm going to do this, 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 and this for you. And I don't know, personally, I'm not going to come in and say that I'm going to do all this and that for my position if I come into a job as a employee for my first week. I wouldn't say that in the first week, because then everybody there, including the boss, has expectations all the way over here, and you can't, all the way up here, you can't even see how far I'm reaching through this camera. You can't even see it. Everyone has the expectations up there. And then when it comes down to the nitty gritty, she didn't meet any of those at all. So great pick from Karl. And obviously, you know, obviously the work that he's done this week is just remarkable. So good for you, Karl.
But it goes to show how easy it is to not be on the list. Like all she did really was just message me a few times. I don't think she really did anything, even posting wise, after the Survivor. Like Scott Logish was doing the Instagram.
I mean, the goal for her was she was supposed to help Emma. And
yeah,
I don't understand where the confusion happened, where that stopped, or if that even was a thing. I just don't. You were hired to assist in social media. Plain
like
and simple.
And the biggest problem I have is Daniel Dyer is out here posting all the time. He made a separate MLB account. He made a separate NBA account. There are ways to contribute beyond just like, oh, what does Emma need? You know?
Yeah. Yeah, you can see him in the chat. He does a lot of stuff for Facebook too. He's always posting, hey, go like and share the Facebook. Go like it. I just posted on the Facebook. So social media.
And the thing is, like, Emma's good enough too that when it comes down to like what does she absolutely need, like she didn't need really somebody to help her with stuff. It's good if we have somebody to do that, but she's good enough that like if somebody just blows it off, she's like I'll just do it myself. Like it's fine. So.
And she can't get a hold of her half the time, and she just disappears.
Yeah.
And then she would always message me about, I feel really left out about what's going on in the company. It was like, I don't know, Karl, do you have a hard time keeping up with what's going on around here?
I don't. I think I'm in the loop with most of the stuff. I think everyone's pretty transparent. Like some of the stuff that came out, you know, at one point about, you know, we had the conversation about people, you know, certain people wanting to fight other people. Like that was the first I'd ever heard that. So there's obviously like stuff that goes on in other chats that I'm not in, that I'm not aware of. But I think for the most part.
Well, that's more so people messaging me stuff. So.
Oh, well, yeah. Then like in that case, I think I'm like, all you have to do really is read the chat, right? Like
I make it so that like, it's just, if there's something important that needs to happen, it just goes in one chat.
Yeah. So I think the expectations are pretty clear, and I think communication's pretty good. I don't really have any complaints there.
Yeah. interesting thought, because I was 100% convinced that this was going to be the week that Wilcox was gone. You refused to vote for Wilcox, but now he quit.
Yeah, I mean, to be honest with you, I also kind of saw it coming. If not this week, then probably next week. And I think I'm pretty good at telling when somebody is not a good fit within probably a few days of them being there, whether they're going to make it or not. And I didn't, after that whole Conor McGregor thing, like I knew it was just a ticking time bomb.
Yeah, now that you're
point.
here, Carl, I just want to ask you, I know I saw your comments from the Slack, and we had all of that. I was able to have the screenshot, so we were able to see that on the screen last week. But now that you're here and we're talking face to face, what were your actual thoughts, real time? What you said maybe out loud to yourself when you read that, or when you were typing a message back? What were your initial thoughts when you read that comment from this guy, Nick Wilcox, that Conor McGregor was losing the fight, so he decided to break his leg on purpose?
Well, I mean, first of all, I just think it's funny that this is something that we even still talk about.
It's just too funny. You can't not.
Yeah, my first thought when I read that was oh no, because I'm the type of person who will just eviscerate somebody in the chat. But we have people who do that, and that's the type
Chickster.
of thing that. Yeah, I mean, he's unapologetic himself, and Garrett will just light somebody up. So I knew that was going to be a problem. And I mean, I commented stuff on the Twitch after, I don't remember what stream it was, but just about how did you guys hear Alex Smith broke his leg on purpose and stuff like that. So I mean, it was all for me, it was all fun. I mean, it was one of the dumbest things I've ever heard, but I mean, people I mean, I've been clowned for stuff I've said, so it's I don't know.
I said last week, we got to squeeze every ounce of juice we have out of this thing, because he's not going to be here long term. I knew that last week, but I mean, he was a great punching bag.
Yeah, and that's kind of sad that it kind of had to be that way. You for everybody to come in and be able to contribute
absolutely.
in a positive way, but that's just kind of how it went. And yeah, it's tough. You hate to see it happen, but we've been able to get some good laughs and some good content out of it. So, not the worst.
Not everybody's going to be a winner, and that's okay.
Yeah.
I even met with the kid the first time, and my first comment to the kid was, I'm just going to warn you right now, not everyone is a good fit here. And from that moment on, he was like, oh, I'm really interested. That sounds cool.
Yeah.
Didn't make it.
Chickster
bullied the kid into quitting today.
Yeah. That's too bad.
Yeah. For those who don't know, pretty much Wilcox canceled on Chickster the first time. I guess he didn't know he was going to be on the show, despite saying that he was going to be on the show. And then pretty much Chickster didn't allow him to be on the show today. And I guess that was too much for him.
Yeah.
What did he say to you, Trey?
Oh, I do have it screenshotted just in case. He always starts with Happy Monday. That's his thing.
I love that.
Wait,
I used to do that for my call outs. Happy Friday, guys. And then, who the hell is not working?
Here we go. Happy Monday, Trey. Just wanted to thank you for the opportunity. This is not going to work out for me. Appreciate it and wish you the best of luck.
Yeah.
It's generic enough.
I don't know. I on one level, it's maybe he was trying to make amends by, actually following through on the fantasy show.
Well, he didn't do any posts.
Yeah.
You can't be on the show if you're not going to do any posts either.
That's fair. No, that's
Let's
fair.
give
You're
him
right.
some credit, though.
You're
He
right.
easily could have just ghosted. And,
a lot of people do that.
You know what I mean? And just
Michael
vanish.
Bronner, where the fuck are you, man?
Right. So, he could have just vanished. But instead, he was like, you know what? I'm going to message him. I'm going to get out. Short and sweet. I'm out. That's the right way to do it.
Alex Chick, that man got some love. Like one of the most underrated moments of Chickster's tenure. Wasn't even on an episode. He finds his way to insert himself into almost every single conversation. But this time wasn't there and got some love.
Yeah, I mean, he like, I give him a hard time about a lot of stuff because like you kind of have to with, I always reference the like Detroit free agency thing and he gets kind of mad about it. But I mean, he's one of the mainstays.
But that's one of those things like if you didn't like him, you wouldn't make fun of him.
Right. Yeah, exactly. And he'll like, it's one of those things where like it's all love and it's all good fun. And he's one of the people who does like good work for this site. And so, I got
he's employee number 3 ever.
Yeah. Yeah. And he stuck around and, so that's, it's one of those things where like, he's one of the people you don't mess with. And so, yeah, he wasn't there to defend himself. So, I got his
back. Next thing on my list here, Tanner Pike. I mean, this kid is must-see TV. I was saying this in the intern chat. If this was like year 5, 6, 7 of the company, I would have hired someone to follow him around all week with cameras because he is just must-see TV at this point.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know anything about him other than the fact that he's a Raiders fan and he has to get some posts out soon or else he's done so. But
this is the live update. He has sent in 3 blogs at the same time in the writing editing chat.
I mean, all right. Yeah, we're getting there. We're getting there.
This man, Tanner Pike, has rocks for brains. But I don't know. Does he care? Is he just dumb? Like
is he a high school kid or?
No, he's an Arizona State kid.
Oh, okay. Cool.
Yeah. So his challenge this week is for those who didn't watch The Survivor. I got an email from his school saying Tanner Pike should have completed 65 hours to this point. He's done a total of 4 articles. So he's done maybe 3 hours, 4 hours. So he's got some catching up to do. So he basically has the Karl challenge, except he has a full week.
Yeah. All right. Well, I'm rooting for him. I hope he gets it done. Like, I will say with the 20 posts in a day, kind of circling back to that was like it wasn't easy.
Oh,
I'm not gonna lie.
Easy.
I wasn't gonna lie. It wasn't easy. I think at around like once I was done with like maybe 15, 14.
You start to hit a wall.
You start to hit a wall and you start like looking for anything. Like I was exhausted. Like I did stuff across like every sport, like random stuff.
You
like,
run out of ideas and then you start like looking back at your writing. You're like, well, I made a lot of errors here.
Yeah. Yeah. Like there's one I actually have to go back and edit because I made an error about who is the coach at like school in the Big 12. But anyway, yeah. And I had, it was one of the, I keep a like a note on my phone with just a list of stuff I plan on writing. And so I started just like cranking them out because I had a couple of days off work. And eventually I was like, all right, well, it's too late. So I might as well just schedule these for tomorrow. And so I had like a bunch of those piled up for the Wednesday. And then once I kind of, I released like 10 posts before 11 or something and was like, all right, this has to be the day that it get like, that I do it. Like, I don't think I'm going to be able to do this again. So I don't.
What would you say? What would you say to the writers that struggle to get out articles or struggle to get the creative side of articles? More so what Trey says is, okay, if you guys aren't on the creative side, if you can't do what Max Murphy did, a really creative article, would you rather get dunked on or Randy Moss? You know what I mean? If you don't have that side and you want to just take the news stories, what would you kind of say to like the writers that, I'm not on the creative side of things. I can't find the right things to write about. And you're sitting here writing 20 posts in a day. What would you kind of say to those guys that are probably watching like, hey guys, I wrote 20 in a day.
Well, I found like 7 of those just on like scrolling through Twitter, looking for stuff. You know, there was the one on like if you can't find like, you know, a big like news story, like I did one on the US women's team lost. I did one on that and like what that means for the future. I did one on the Maria Taylor like leaving ESPN. I did one on John Heyman saying that if you move in the batter's box, it should be counted as a swing. Like there's all this stuff
That was
that
the most ridiculous one
that
you
was
did.
oh man, that was so bad. But there's you can do it about anything. Like if you're listening, like I did one on a song, like a Justin Bieber song. Like if you're listening to something, if you're watching something, like just do a post on it. Like anything can be content if you want it to be. Yeah. So, and it's like the Olympics, like there's plenty of stuff there, you know. There's a lot of weird Olympic sports you could do a post on that would probably get views because like I don't know who's doing posts on speed walking and stuff like that, but
some of these guys are so bad at picking topics. So bad.
Yeah. I mean, by the end, mine were kind of a stretch too. I'm not gonna lie, but yeah, that is a hard part of. I'd say like, just find like something that you can, keep producing posts out of, if that makes sense. So like, I'm doing NBA draft profiles, and I can crank out like 10 of those, and that's 10 posts on prospects. You know, there's always fantasy football posts you can do on literally anything. Anybody. Yeah, I mean, it's like if there's like a big, you know, with like the NBA finals, you can do it on what does this mean for, you know, Chris Paul? What does this mean for Giannis? You know, will the Phoenix Suns be back next year? Will the Bucks repeat? Like there's like 6 posts you can do right off the top of my head of just like what to do with the end of the NBA finals, you know. Yeah, just look for angles.
Not only that, people can do video stuff, TikToks. Like, I wish people did more of that stuff.
I might start getting into more of that stuff because I think we should be doing more TikToks. And I did the Kenyon Drake one, but I'm gonna start thinking of more.
But I don't know. I think it's easy to create content. It's just a matter of doing it.
Yeah, it is easy. I wish we did more. Like I wish we did less of like posting game clips on TikTok. Those don't really do super well. I think we need to come up with more just like original like jokes about sports, like just current stuff. Like there's a lot
like the one I did on Minshew refusing to take a shit.
Yes. Yeah. Like that. Exactly. Yeah. So
because people click on that stuff.
Yeah. I mean, that's it's the second highest view today. So
yeah.
And
it's 2 days old.
It's 2 days old. So there you go. Yeah. But to wrap that up, there's always topics. Like it shouldn't be as hard as some people make it, but that's kind of how you.
And not only that, like I always have some kind of an idea. People can ask me for ideas or ask anybody for ideas.
If somebody needs an idea, they can ask me too. Like I'll come up with something. If they want to write about a specific sport and they don't know what to write about, like I'll give them something. But that's also that's how we know who's going to make it and who's not. Like, is whether they can consistently produce stuff, and if they can't, then they're not going to make it.
Speaking of that, I want to ask you this question, Carl.
Yeah.
This is just my personal belief. I want people that are like Team Trey, Team Vendetta, like almost anything else doesn't really necessarily matter as much to me. Like, as if I see a person like cares about the company and is trying, that almost matters more to me than anything.
Mm-hmm.
So I want to pose this question to you. Like, I was just angry this week. Like we lost the Perry Goodman deal. I was like, she don't care about the company. She cares about Perry Goodman. I got an email from one of our graphics people being like, So I this is my last 2 weeks. Can't do this for free anymore. It's like, well, I was gonna make you the same offer Amanda got. So sucks to suck. See ya. It's like, you don't care about this company. You care about you. How do you feel about maybe some of the people that are here? Because I feel like the most successful people here are the ones that, like, I could say almost anything to Jackson Law, and that guy bleeds for this company.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'll say, like, I think there's a lot of patience involved just with our situation right now, because, like, kind of where we want to be is right around the corner.
We are ahead of schedule. Like,
yeah. Well, that's the thing, is like, people don't understand that there's a schedule. Like, they get here and for 2 weeks they do stuff and they expect, like, oh, well, like, why aren't we where we expect to be? Like, there's a timeline and we're getting there. Like, we are. Like, you just kind of have to buy in.
When I started this company, it was like a crime scene in my room. I had mapped out everything. I wrote for 5 years for other people just because I wanted to be a sponge. When I did this, I wanted to do it and make sure I was 100% locked in on what I was going to do. My room looked like a crime scene. The 5-year mark was the mark for me that we were going to have an office and contracts were going to go out. This is year 3. And the behind the scenes people are being paid, and we have way more people than I thought. And my goal was to have around like 25-ish thousand posts in the database for me to feel confident that was going to happen. We have 9 in 3 years. So we're getting there. It's not quite there, but to me, I believe I'm ahead of schedule on how I plan this out.
Yeah, I mean, and the thing is, there are people here who are using it as, like, kind of a launching pad for something else, and maybe something.
And I don't necessarily care about that.
Yeah, and they can do that. Like, that's fine. But at the end of the day, we need people who are gonna go out there and
but I almost
I
almost don't, like, it's hard to say, because, like, let's say, I don't know, let's say somebody got some kind of $1 million offer from ESPN based on the work that they were doing here.
Yeah,
I'm not gonna blame them.
Yeah,
but if that person's like, I'm just here because I want this as the stepping stone, I don't really necessarily care about what I'm doing here, that's when I get angry.
Yeah. Yeah, I get that. And what was I going to say? I mean, we're getting people now who I desperately want to keep here.
Do you have any names, or you don't want to say them?
If we don't keep Alex Cervantes, I'm going to be so sad.
That's where I was going next.
I'm going to be so sad. And some of these other high school kids are good too.
Yeah.
Like,
that's the good part, because they're young, and, like, I don't necessarily have to work. Like, Cervantes he's going to be a sophomore at Northwestern. Yeah.
He's good. Like, he's good.
Andrew's in that same boat too.
But
Andrew's also a sophomore, McGinnis.
Oh, he's disgusting. It's surprising to me that he's not somewhere else. You know what I mean? Like, I think
I'm almost surprised the Flyers haven't reached out to him in any way.
He's good enough to get paid somewhere else right now. He's good. He's really good.
I actually do throw him a couple bones here and there.
Yeah, he deserves it. He's phenomenal. Yeah, I mean, we have good people. Courtney's awesome. I hope she stays around.
I believe those 3 you just named will. Okay, by the time we get to the point where we need to be.
Yeah, that's good. And it's good that they've all joined pretty recently. So it's good. Like, we're getting more and more of those people.
I think we have actually a way better group than what I would have thought by this point.
Yeah. And we still get, you're still having to delete WordPress accounts and.
Oh, I'm up to. It's got to be 250 at this point.
Really?
It's got to be. I forgot to count. He told me to do that, producer Alex. Forgot to count the deactivated accounts. God. It goes up every week though, so
That's all right. Yeah, just write it down. Well, you can hit it next week.
Producer Alex, am I forgetting anything? I know we're not even that long into the show. Any company stuff that you want to bring up?
We did. Did you do enough on Tanner? Do you feel like that was enough on Tanner?
I just know he has some kind of, I want some kind of countdown on like social media that like kind of goes off every time he publishes a post. We got to turn this into something. The Tanner Pike race. I don't know.
Can we call it Pike's Peak? Can we call it that?
I don't know.
Or something? I don't know.
Carl, you have any other company stuff you want to bring up besides Pike?
Not really.
Wasn't a super eventful week minus Survivor and Wilcox.
Yeah. Other than that, I don't really have anything else.
That's okay. We could spend 10 minutes on the Red Sox just continuing to own the Yankees. We could take 10 minutes there and call it.
I didn't see this coming. I'm not gonna lie. I didn't see it coming. I didn't think they'd be this good.
I didn't think they'd be this good, but I honestly believed they would be like somewhat competitive. I did.
Well, yeah. I mean, all the pitching could do was get better.
That was my whole argument. The offense was always there.
Yeah.
They couldn't have pitched worse.
Yeah. In my Chris Sale article, they were like 28th in ERA last year as a staff. They could only get better, like realistically.
And this year they're 21st, right? And it's good enough.
They might
the
be
starting ERA. The starting ERA.
They might be in the okay, maybe, yeah. The bullpen's really good.
Filthy.
The bullpen's really good. I mean, it helps when you get a guy like Ottavino for free. He didn't do that great in his last outing.
Not only that, they got him for free and a prospect.
Yeah. So I mean, that kind of thing.
They got Garrett Whitlock literally for free.
Yeah, I don't know how that works, but yeah, it's good.
That's got to be one of the best Rule 5 picks of all time.
Probably. And also Matt Barnes just like decided to be Mariano Rivera for a year.
And not only that, he took like a hometown extension like right before the All-Star break.
Yeah,
I can't believe he did that.
Yeah, like 2 or 3 more years or something.
For $7 million? You're paying your closer that? What the hell?
So nice. So nice.
I don't know. It probably helps he's a Connecticut guy.
Yeah.
Doesn't want to leave.
Do you think they need to pick anybody else up? Like, I almost don't want to rock the boat. You know? I mean, there's always, I guess I'm kind of neutral on Anthony Rizzo. I think he'd be good, but
I think more so with the Rizzo thing. I think he's perfect because he's a left-handed bat. They need another left-handed bat, and I don't trust Dahlbeck. Like, I'm just over watching him strike out.
Oh yeah, it hurts me because like it feels like he's right there.
Yeah,
like, it feels like he's so close to being like incredible, and he's like not. So you can't have a guy in the lineup that like whiffs 40% of the time. Yeah. I mean, we need to fire Franchi into the sun.
That guy sucks.
He's bad. He's really bad. He's bad. We need to
like. I would almost be for like, why can't you send Dahlbeck down for a year? Like trading for Rizzo doesn't mean you can't not have Dahlbeck around.
Yeah, I don't want Dahlbeck though to turn into another Michael Chavis situation though.
It's tough watching him too.
Yeah, so that's what I'm worried about. Is like I almost want to keep him up and just have him kind of work out his issues or his approach. Because I also don't want it to be another, Franchi situation where like he goes down to Worcester and just hits nukes and then he comes up and can't do anything. So yeah, I don't know. We're good enough that we can we don't have to handle this with kid glove really, but it's
apparently in Marte too.
I wouldn't hate that.
Yeah, me neither. Because I don't think that limits Duran. Like he can platoon, and he can pinch run, and he'll get his at bats because he's a lefty.
Yeah, but his first like week or 2 weeks or whatever, like inject that into my veins. I love him.
His speed alone is just an impact.
Yeah, when he like stretched like
Odor like
little
muffed
yeah, and stretched it into two. So
They haven't had a guy like that since Ellsbury.
yeah, we better not.
I'm
Give him
well when
Ellsbury
Ellsbury was with
contract.
the Sox, he was an MVP candidate.
He finished like third, I think, or something, second or third.
If Miguel Cabrera didn't hit for the Triple Crown, he would have won it.
Yeah, that's true. Yep.
How good does it feel to just own the Yankees, though?
It's almost like it feels good, but it's a little sad. Like I kind of want it to be a little more. Well, like I want it to be a little more competitive than that. It's just like not. It's just like starting to not be fun anymore. Because what are we?
I tag Fontanello every day now.
I feel bad. I just feel bad at this point. Like, what is it? 12-2 or something? Or 10-2,
something like that.
Well, one of them was like a 4-inning game, so that doesn't even really count.
They should have played that game, by the way.
Played it out?
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. I hated that.
It stopped raining.
I was so mad about that. They waited until the Yankees got a lead and then called the game. Like, what was that?
And they didn't start it on time when it wasn't raining.
Yeah, it wasn't raining. They said it's gonna rain, so they waited an hour and then played through.
That was the worst game.
Yeah, it was. The umps were terrible. It was just dumping rain. Even the commentators were like, "We've never seen a game played in these conditions." And then it stopped raining, and they're like, "We're good. Nah, we played enough baseball for today." Yeah,
I actually think the Sox can win the title.
They could. I don't know.
Sale needs to be Sale.
He needs to be 80% at least. I mean, the thing I'm worried about is what the pitching looks like in the playoffs because yeah, I don't know. Eovaldi needs to be playoff Eovaldi again, and
I think he's been great all year.
He's been really. I mean, he was an all-star. Like he was good. So,
and I love the fact that every time he pitches against the Yankees, he shoves. Just
he
because
absolutely
he hates
shoves.
them.
Yeah, it's like the 7th inning, and he's throwing 101. Like it's crazy.
Every time he pitches against the Yankees, he's on fire.
Yeah, unreal. He's really good. I mean it's kind of worth the money we're paying him for him to just do that. Sort of. I don't know. I am a little worried about just some other I think the White Sox probably have better pitching.
I don't trust them with La Russa.
That's fair. Yeah, they'll probably crash and burn. I mean, what they've been doing despite him has been kind of incredible, I'll say. But yeah, I don't know who else out of the American League. I mean, as long
Houston's
as
going to be there.
They'll be there. They're always a problem. But as long as the Red Sox avoid the wild card game.
Yeah, anything can happen in that show.
Anything can happen in that. So as long as we win the division, I think we're looking good.
The craziest part about it is I think Toronto might be the team I fear the most, and they're not even in it.
Their offense is disgusting. It's so scary. Like every game we get into them feels like it's just
if they just find like two guys that can like just shut the game down, they're gonna be nasty.
Yeah, no, give them 2 years. They might win the division in 2 years.
I think almost easy.
Yeah, they're gonna be really good.
I have a take for you that most like baseball people don't like.
Okay,
but
yeah, hit me with it.
You can't give the MVP award to Shohei Ohtani if they're a 4th place team. I'm sorry. That's not valuable. If you want to say he's the MVP if he plays for, let's say, the White Sox and they're in 1st place, no problem with it. You can't give the MVP award to a guy that's in 4th place. You take him off the roster. What, they're in 5th?
Yeah, but I mean, you could put like prime Babe Ruth and Willie Mays on Angels, they probably still finish fourth.
Give him player of the year. You can't give him the MVP. I'm sorry. You can't do it.
Well, yeah, I mean, at
Can't
that
do
point, it's semantics. Like, people always get into this, like, well, it's about value, when it really does just mean, like, the best player, I think.
But I think it should be value.
Like, who added the most value to their team?
Yeah.
Wouldn't it then just be, like, the wins above replacement award at that point? Maybe.
Like if Toronto makes the playoffs, I think it should go to Vlad.
Yes. I'd agree with that.
But if Toronto doesn't make the playoffs, I think it should go to Devers.
Okay. That's a take. If he leaves,
he's ridiculous.
He's on one this year. He's really good.
Like, the first thing that Chaim Bloom should do when he goes into the offseason, lock him up immediately.
Yeah. Did you see that, like, batting practice, like, video of him where he's like, yeah, I love it.
That guy just loves baseball.
Yeah, he's like, I love it here. They pay me good and I hit homers, and that's what I do. Yeah. I love him. He's great. I don't know. Is he on a team friendly contract?
Well, he's still under his, like, rookie ARB years. I think this is, like, the first year he's under ARB.
Okay. All right. He's the type of guy who will stick around.
Him and Bogarts, they just sit together in the dugout every game, and Bogarts already took a hometown discount.
Yeah. People somehow don't talk about Bogarts enough. In terms
I do all the time.
Yeah, you do, but other people don't. The fact that people ever thought, like, Gleyber Torres was better than him is beyond me.
He's not even a shortstop.
Or
well, I mean, he should be a second baseman.
Yeah. Right. Yeah. I never got it. I never understood it. But
I think he's almost like one of the best shortstops ever. That's how I view Bogarts.
Wow. Okay, that's a take. For me, he's kind of what Troy Tulowitzki could have been.
I think he's better than Tulowitzki.
You think so?
Yeah.
Tulowitzki's one of my favorite players ever.
If you told me, like, take all the shortstops that have ever played baseball, it's like A-Rod, and then if Bogarts is not within, like, 5, you're out of your mind to me.
Really?
Ever. Yeah.
Wow. I mean, I'm trying to think of, like, Ernie Banks was a shortstop. Yeah.
I'll accept, like, Barry Larkin.
Was he? Yeah, I guess. Yeah. What about, like, Ozzie Smith?
He didn't hit like Bogarts does.
That's true. But
you don't find shortstops that are hitting like 320 and 35 bombs. They don't exist.
Yeah, that's true. No, you're right. I don't know if I'd have to look into it more, but I'm not ready to go as far as you are down the Bogarts rabbit hole, but I like him. It's not that I don't like him, but
give me, like, maybe like a trade or two you want Chaim Bloom to make, and then I'll send it over to producer Alex to give his, like, final, maybe, like, nail in the coffin for the Yankees.
A trade or two that I want them to make?
Yeah. Give me something deadline wise that you want them to do coming up.
I want them to trade for that I'm blanking on his name, the Twins pitcher.
Yes.
That's what I want.
Barrios.
He
would be perfect.
I don't care about, like, Marte would be fine, Rizzo would be fine, but, like, I don't think we need another, like, JD and Devers are both top 5 in RBIs. Like, we don't need really anybody else. Everybody's contributing.
I would love
disgusting.
I would love to lengthen the lineup a little bit. I just don't trust Dahlbeck. I don't trust Dahlbeck.
6'7" guy. Okay. I mean, sure, but yeah. Just find somebody who strikes
like, if Sale, we get a number 2 starter, we can get either Perez or Richards out of the rotation. Win.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah. I want to prioritize an arm, though. So I want I feel like the package for, are they even, because the NL East is so bad that I feel like the Nationals aren't going to trade, like, Like there were talks that they were going to trade Scherzer, and I don't think they are now.
I don't think they will.
Yeah. So I would have liked him. I'm trying to think what are your thoughts on Marquez from Colorado?
Don't trust him.
Don't trust him. I mean, it's kind of crazy how good he's been in Coors.
His command scares me. He's one of those guys that would go off the deep end.
Yeah, but we have some relievers who are like that. It's kind of fun.
Yeah. Axel Rios, you never know what you're getting out of that guy.
Oh, yeah. Oh, he's crazy.
I met him when I worked for the Iron Pigs.
Is he the guy who throws like 100 but just like has no idea where it's going?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
I like Barrios' call. I wrote a post on he'd be perfect.
To answer your question, that's probably who I'd want the most. The pitching's been good, but I still don't trust them because
the bullpen's been good. The starting pitching has been okay.
It's been okay. It's been good enough. Do you know what their ERA is off the top of your head?
No, I just know they're in 21, 22.
Yeah. So they've been like good enough to get by, but like good enough to get by isn't going to get it done in October. So
I trust Pivetta actually and Evaldi. I don't trust Richards or Perez ever.
You don't trust Richards?
No.
He's always like good enough. Like good enough. Like I'll give up 5, but we'll score 6. That's kind of his thing.
Yeah. Producer Alex, thoughts on the Red Sox just owning the Yankees?
Listen. When you have a team that cannot consistently field a healthy lineup day in and day out, it just gets old, it gets sad, and it gets frustrating. And when you have a bullpen that is starting to look like last year's Philadelphia Phillies bullpen.
You're not a fan of Brooks Kriske.
It gets very sad, very frustrating, and very old. I need old Zach Britton back. I certainly
He's not healthy. He can't be.
Old Aroldis Chapman back.
Well, he's Spider Tack. He's got to be a Spider Tack guy.
Domingo Germán finally makes me think that he is back. Back to the old days. Back to the very juvenile days, if you know what I'm saying, with Domingo Germán.
He was 18-4 one year.
And that's when he was doing those terribly awful things to females. And then he just stopped. And then he throws 7 hitless innings. And then a 5-run 8th inning, Yankees collapse. And I just don't understand. The only thing that I have to say about it is they can't field the same lineup.
That's the thing I love about this Sox series. They're never out of it. They got grit out the ass.
You guys have you have a 4-game weekend series and you can't field the same lineup 4 days in a row. How's that possible? Everybody was like, "Oh my God, what are they going to do? They have so many outfielders." They're digging into the bottom of the barrel to get these outfielders now. What do you mean they don't got enough? They have too many outfielders.
Quick, did you see the story on Cora? Apparently, he said to Kike Hernandez, "If Josh Taylor gets out of this inning, we're winning." And Kike looked at him like, "Dude, we're getting no hit."
Well, that's so. The thing with the thing I read about the Red Sox is they have like 32, 33 comeback wins.
Yeah,
but that's great. But it scares me a little bit just because
it's just the starting pitching. They get a little behind.
We can't play from behind that much. We can't. We just have to go out and punch some people in the mouth like right away. So I love that we're staying in games, but I don't love that we're behind so much. That's what I don't love.
Producer Alex, real quick, one last thing, and then we'll close it. I think actually, and I want your take on this, the biggest problem with the Yankees, Giancarlo Stanton is an absolute bum. He's
just not consistent enough to be likable to some people. And by those some people, I'm referring to
I don't think there's a guy in baseball that stands like him in the box, where his one foot is actually like the complete opposite way.
It's the pull. It's the Didi Gregorius pull.
So you're a fan of Stanton.
I like Stanton. He's just got to be a little bit more consistent. He's just got to be consistent. I almost wish that what pisses me off about Stanton and how they run the lineup is he played in the National League for many years. He knows how to play outfield.
Yeah, I think he's a bum.
This team,
I think he can play the outfield.
Doesn't have outfielders because
I think he's good at playing the outfield.
Put him in the outfield. Make Higashioka the catcher. Put Gary Sanchez at DH.
I don't think he wants to play the outfield.
He should, because everybody's hurt or everybody's sick in the outfield.
I think you're right. He should play the outfield. I don't think he wants to.
I don't know if that's Stanton. I don't know if that's Boone. I don't really have a standpoint on Boone right now. I think it's just the fact that they can't field a goddamn lineup for the same 4 games in a weekend series. And I don't know if this is just some of the calls that I disagree with Boone is when he decides to change pitchers, because so it happens too many times where he'll take a pitcher out and he'll put a new guy in and then they just get rocked. And then you literally hear the announcers and they're like, see, I just don't know if I would have went there with I don't know if I agree with what Boone's call is there. I don't know why we're rushing to get another pitcher in here. And then they just let up 4 runs. That's the only thing on Boone. But there's a lot of people that's like, #fire Boone, #let Boone go. I'm not really on that standpoint right now. Like let's just worry about the fact that they're not consistent enough to be a playoff contending team. Let's focus on that before we go saying everything's on Boone. That's all I got.
All right. Producer Alex, Carl, any final thoughts? Company-wise, anything, baseball, something?
Baseball-wise, Giancarlo Stanton, once people figured out that he can't hit a slider, he became bad. So
I think he's just lazy and a bum.
He's got to get in the outfield.
Yeah.
I would never say this if there was the 6 outfielders that they always have in that goddamn lineup. The fact that they are getting guys from the AAA team,
Greg Allen actually can play.
14 years old to come up and play.
Yeah.
What?
All right.
I had one last trade thing that kind of crossed my mind. What are your thoughts on? No. What are your thoughts on getting Trevor Story for his bat?
I actually like Arroyo. I trust Christian Arroyo at second base.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. I don't know. He's fine. I mean, there's only so many. It seems like your real problem is just with Dahlbeck, and everyone else you're fine with. Okay.
And Chavis and Franchi.
Yeah. That's just a rotating door, basically.
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah, we need to find someone to
get
fill
me
that.
a left-handed first baseman, or I'd be okay with Mancini.
I'm mad that we don't have Mitch Moreland anymore. I don't know. He was always good. Hit like 30 doubles a year. I don't know.
All right. That's going to do it for That's Some Cheese. Thank you to Carl. Not a ton of company stuff, but baseball conversation was fun. Yeah. Make sure to follow him on Twitter. I think it's just Karl Heiser 17, right?
Yep, that's it.
Karl Heiser 17. Make sure to follow him. All Day AJ 27 in the producer booth. Myself, Trey Daubert, and Trey Daubert on TikTok. The show handles That's Some Cheese minus the E for Twitter. _ That's Some Cheese for the Instagram. Hit that subscribe button on YouTube. Thank you guys for watching and listening. We'll see you next time.